Okay, my camera's already gonna die, but it is the start of the Enneagram Readathon, and I need to really get cracking on reading. I only have 3 picks so far. I'll be reading Punk 57 at some point in this vlog. I don't know if I'm gonna read The Gravity of Us yet. I'm not really feeling this one yet, so I might hold off on to next week, but we'll see. And then I also need to read A Vow So Bold and Deadly. I also have heard that I am allowed to pick any of the group read books, so I've been looking on Scribd to see which group read pick I can pick from, and there are a few available on Scribd, so I might try and get a group read through that because I chose not to read Enneagram 2's book, which is Monday's Not Coming. Okay, so I'm about halfway through A Vow So Bold and Deadly, and I'm not hating it, but I'm struggling with wanting to even read in Ren and Harper's point of view anymore. So in book 1, it was basically just Ren and Harper's point of view. I think Gray might have had 1 or 2 point of views here and there, but in book 2, it's rarely in Ren and Harper's point of view. I think they just come in at the beginning and they come in at the end. And I preferred the other point of views that were in book 2 so much more. I really love those characters. So now they're the only ones that I want to read in this book. And I don't care about Ren and Harper. Well, I care about Harper more than I care about Ren. I've always just been pretty indifferent to him. But now I'm just really not liking this uncertainty Harper has towards him that I forgot about in the past book as well, where he has a lot of anger problems and he just always thinks that he's right, but it's like this weird question of, is he actually a good guy or is he actually a bad guy? I think we're supposed to be sympathetic to him because he has a lot of trauma from the witch who cursed him in the first book and everything that she has put him through and continues to put him through. So I feel like we're supposed to be sympathetic to him, but I just don't care. I don't care about him and his storyline, and I hope Harper dumps him. I don't know. I need Ren to leave this book already, and then I would enjoy it and get through it faster. I'm sorry about the rattling. I live in an old house. There's nothing I can do about it except wait for the air conditioning to turn off, but it rarely turns off because I live in Arizona and it's just so hot. The AC just never turns off pretty much. But I have made it to where I am about 50 pages left until the end, and I'm at the point where I am ready to go online and search for any spoilers because I have favorite characters and I'm really worried that they're going to die, and I need to prepare myself because I'll just end up being very angry. I have big issues with who authors choose to kill off in books. I just don't think that certain characters should die, especially children though. That is the one big one that I really dislike, and I'm really worried about one of the child characters in this being dead, and there was reference to a possibility that some kids, like young kids, are also dead, and I am not happy with that because it doesn't make sense to me why it would be included. Just don't kill kids. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in stories. I get that fantasy stories like to make those like really gritty, devastating choices in books to make the entire premise seem more heartbreaking, or I don't know, the tragedies of war. Tragic, that's the word. The tragedies of war come out in books, and especially in fantasy, and they do that with killing kids, and I hate that. But I'm liking it more. Oh, thank you for not rattling. I am liking it more. I'm hating Ren less, but I get the sense that Brigid Kemmerer wrote the first book and was like, great, this is awesome, but then she realized that she loved Gray, and then she wrote in Liamara, and she realized that those were the characters that she should have written the first book about because I feel like they're just a much better duo in this third book than Ren and Harper is just kind of a little bit whiny and annoying, and I don't know. I guess we'll see if I'm gonna be pissed or if I'm gonna be okay with the ending of this book. I bet she's gonna kill him. Don't kill kids. Stop killing them in books. Stop it. The air conditioning's off for a brief second, but I did finish. What's this called? A Vow So Bold and Deadly. And I did not end the book pissed off. I will just say that. I think I like the ending. I don't know if this is a full 5-star. Like, I'm pretty sure I gave both of the other books, but I really liked the ending. I like that it's not what you would have predicted to have happened if you just read the first book, and if you're predicting like what this series would wrap up like, I guess. So I'm glad with where it went. just because I liked what it did to my favorite characters. So I am happy with this. I'm reading comments right now that people are not happy with the ending of this one, but I personally am. I like how it ended. It was good. But yeah, I need to read another book. I think tonight it's 9 o'clock and I can probably at least get halfway through, but I think I'm going to read, if I can find it, right here. Okay, I'm going to try and read The Gravity of Us. Let's see. Okay, the font's kind of big and spaced out, and the book's pretty small, so I don't think I'll be able to finish it, but I can at least make a dent in it because I really need to get caught up with my reading. So I'm going to move on to this after probably spending, let's be real, probably like 45 minutes to an hour on the computer, and then we'll see how far I get. I just want to update that it's an hour later and I haven't started reading, but I do have a popsicle. So maybe this will like perk me up and make me want to read, because I feel like my brain is fried and I just want to play Sims. But I always just want to play Sims, so I need to start this book. I feel like if I at least push myself to read 25%, then I'll feel accomplished. And I can read 25%. There's the air conditioning. Okay, I'm gonna eat my popsicle, and then I guess I'll try and read 25%. Focus on my face. There we go. Alright, I am 50 pages in, and I just want to say that this father in this book sucks. If my mom would have pulled something like that on me when I was in my senior year of high school and made me move and lose out on a major internship, like, just no. After springing upon me the desire to become an astronaut, no, I would not be speaking at all to my parent if they did that to me. So I'm angry at his dad in this story. But anyway, I have not explained what this is about. So what I'm gathering is that there is this boy named Calvin. He is in high school and he is a journalist. So he posts videos on some sort of app, and he has quite a lot of followers, and he posts a lot of like New York updates and things. And he was recently posting about this trip that NASA is planning to get people on to Mars. And then he kind of fizzled out with posting any of those updates about that NASA trip and search for an astronaut, because his dad applied to be an astronaut, and it's like a big point of contention in their family because his mom does not want dad to be an astronaut. He doesn't want dad to be an astronaut because that means that they would have to move from New York to Texas and kind of give up on all of their dreams. So we just found out that dad did in fact get to become an astronaut, so now they are moving after like 2 days notice to go to Houston. So that's where we're at. So yes, I would be pissed if my parent pulled that and just all of a sudden I had to pick up my entire life when I had goals and plans and stuff. And I know it'll work out, but oof, that's rough. That makes me so angry for him. Ew, you can see my fingerprints. That's disgusting. But I have made it to the halfway point of The Gravity of Us, and I'm a little unsure how I feel about this one. I am liking it. I am really intrigued by the NASA storyline and this whole astronauts going to Mars concept. I really like those parts of it, and when they talk a lot about the missions and the history of NASA and stuff, I'm really intrigued by that. But I am not really connecting to any of these characters. I think that they are all individually really good characters, and I think that the author made sure that each of them had their own personalities and their own struggles and stuff. But I am struggling with their relationships. I do not buy any of the relationships. I don't actually think anyone cares about each other. And in this, Cal starts to have feelings for another astronaut's son, and they met each other about a week ago, and now they like seem to already be in love, and the pacing of it seems a little strange. We are at the halfway point and nothing has really happened aside from Cal just kind of freaking out over what his future is going to look like and crushing over Leon, and his dad starting his first day of work. I don't really know where it's going. I have an idea what the plot is going to end up being, but even then I'm still not sure just like what's gonna happen at all. So I'm not a big plot reader. That's not something that's ever really been important to me. But if there's not a really solid plot, I expect there to be really good character relationships, because that's what I care about the most. And I just feel like there's neither. There's not a plot, there's not a lot of character relationships. It's just a bunch of pretty good characters kind of doing things, and then it's wrapped up in talk about NASA and space and stuff. So it's okay. It's okay. And it's easy to read, so I feel like I'm going to be able to finish it in the next couple of hours, but I'm just not in love with it. It's fine. And I'm interested to read reviews on it when I'm done, because I've noticed that it's on the lower end of my Goodreads list in terms of ratings, so I'm interested to see if people agree with that. But I am eating a salad from Trader Joe's because I am trying to not eat out, and it's actually kind of good. And I almost just spilled that everywhere. It's this one, if you're interested. Oh no, that was probably not interesting. I'll probably cut that out. We'll see. Alright, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna try and avoid being on my computer, or else I'm not gonna pick up the book again. And I kind of need to start another book sometime tonight too, because I am way behind. So I'm at the point of reading where I just want to read pretty much anything else. Even though I'm still liking the book, I started reading fan fiction, and I paused and I was like, okay, I need to go get some food. And while I was heating up the loaf of bread that I'll be eating for dinner, I remembered that I am doing a buddy read for the 5th season with Rana, and I need to at least hit 25% by tomorrow. So I think I might pause with Gravity of Us, try and do like an 1/8 of 5th season, and then finish it in the morning so I can at least talk to Rana about what that's about. But I am going to eat my loaf of bread and drink my Trader Joe's wine, because I am apparently that girl now. So I guess I will check in and tell you if I continue reading Gravity of Us. I'll probably check in when I finish that one, because it might not be today. It'll probably be tomorrow or Monday, if I'm being serious. So I need to eat and read. Okay, I just had to pause my reading because I just need to say that Cal is so selfish. I really dislike him. The more and more I keep reading, the more I realize just how incredibly self-centered this kid is. The book just got to this point where he hasn't spoken to the person who has been his best friend for years and years and years, and he keeps ignoring all of her phone calls because he's just been too busy with all of the stuff that he has going on in his life, which is pretty much nothing, but he acts like he is so busy and so overwhelmed with everything. Anyway, she calls him. He finally answers her call, and she's like, oh, I didn't know you were gonna answer. I was just gonna leave a voicemail to let you know what's going on. And she tells him that she has to move, and his first thought is, she was my backup plan. Like, he doesn't worry about how she's feeling about the fact that her family just got kicked out of their house and that she has to move, and that all of her own plans are ruined in doing this. His thought is, oh, she was my backup plan. Oh, he is such a bad friend. He is such a bad friend. He's been ignoring her since he moved. He basically has said that he doesn't have time for her. I don't like him at all at this point, and I'm just so annoyed. Everything is about him. Everything is about how it upsets him and how it hurts him, and we're supposed to like this guy? Also, I'm just not really liking this book. I don't think it's done very well, and I will explain that once I finish, but I just needed to say how annoyed I am at Cal and his selfishness, and ugh. Okay, I finished, and it was okay. It was not the worst book I've ever read. I could see why people would like this one, but it is definitely not gonna break a 4-star for me. I feel like I could tell what the author was trying to do, and I feel like there were a lot of strong aspects to it that just didn't string together well enough for me, and I wish that it would have been laid out in a much different way than this book actually was. So I felt like the first 3/4 of the book, nothing happens. You're just getting to know the characters and what they like and what they do, and you're learning tidbits here and there about NASA's program and what they plan to do with these astronauts that they have just recruited. And then the last quarter of the book, everything happens. It is so much that goes on in that last bit that I feel like could have been paced out better throughout the book. I think my original summary of this was that Cal is this person who does news on this app, and he has quite a bit of followers, and he's based in New York, and he's a high school senior, or about to be, and then his dad gets accepted into a NASA program to be an astronaut that's about to go to Mars, and so he has to pick up his life in New York and move to Houston, Texas. Which it is about that, but him being a reporter doesn't really matter until the last 25%. His dad being an astronaut doesn't really matter until the last 25% of the book. And the love story that happens in this is so quickly developed that I didn't care. I felt like I just didn't care about anything in this story and any of the character relationships because I didn't believe in it. Nothing was really set up for these characters, and Cal was so self-centered that he didn't really have any moments where he spent time with his parents and understood his dad's choice to uproot their entire life in New York and move them to Houston, Texas. That happens in like one paragraph on like the last page. Then he has his best friend in New York that we learn they had once been in a relationship together, and he and her were like so intertwined in their lives, and they were the best of friends, and they wanted to live together in New York someday, and then he just completely drops her, and then at the end we kind of see what happens with their friendship. And it just, there wasn't a lot of him being friends with people and connecting with people, and the most intriguing parts of the entire story were the parts that were about NASA and about this space program, and I feel like that should have happened more. And then there was also this like media aspect where the astronauts of this program were being followed around by basically a reality TV company, and the company was trying to invoke a lot of drama within the astronauts and stuff, and Cal was trying to expose them a little bit here and there, but it only happened a few times, and there were a lot of pieces to the story that never really gelled well together and were not fleshed out long enough, and the pacing of the story was too fast, and the character relationships just weren't there. So I didn't really care to root for anybody. I just wanted to see the spaceship go out into space at the end, and that's all I cared about. So not my favorite. I guess I would recommend it to people to read because it's not bad. It's not badly written. It just didn't do the things that I wish that it did. So that was a lot of me rambling, and I don't even know how much of that I'm going to use, but I do need to read another book, or at least start another book, and I'm not sure what it's going to be because I do need to read a group read, because I can't read extra prompts for this readathon unless I've finished my 3 group prompts and then read a buddy read for any of the groups. But I don't own any of the group books, so I have found some of them on Scribd, but I don't like listening to books on audio without having it in front of me because my attention span is terrible. But I do have one more I have one more prompt for this readathon that I have to do, and that is to read a romance. So I picked Punk 57 for that, so I might start this one, and my plan is to read halfway through it, or I need to listen to like at least a third of a group buddy read audiobook. I just don't know how I'm gonna do with an audiobook. My attention span is not there right now, so I think I'm gonna I'll at least attempt this. I'll start it and we'll see if I want to read this, or if I'm gonna just play Sims, because you know what, that's all I've been doing lately, because I am a responsible grown-up. I think I hate this. I think I hate this. I'm only, what is it, 60-ish pages in, and it is nothing like I expected, and I think it's going in a way that I am not a fan of. But essentially what this book seems to be about is that there are 2 friends, Misha, who is a boy, and Ryan, who is a girl, and they were paired up accidentally in 5th grade to be pen pals because their teachers thought they were each the same gender. So they got paired up on accident, and they've been writing to each other for like 7 or so years, and they're in their senior year of high school, which I guess it says it on the back, but I did not want them to be in high school because I don't like high school stuff, especially when I know that this is going to be an explicit story. I don't want to read about high schoolers, and I feel like they are close to the end of high school, and it does say that Ryan is 18, which makes it like mildly better, but I still don't want to see high schoolers in a sexual situation. But anyway, I don't even know if I'll make it that far because I am not liking this so far, because the premise seems to be that they have never met, it was like a pact that they made that they would just not meet up or ever get to know who the real person was, just because they didn't want to ruin the like world that they had created within their friendship, where they were like the best of friends and could tell each other everything. So whatever, they chose not to meet. But then at some concert that Misha was in, Ryan ended up being there, and he figured out who she was, and now he's been ghosting her for a few months because he didn't like who she actually was and felt like she had lied to him about her personality. But now it appears that he has shown up at her school after 3 months of not speaking, but he is pretending to go by a different name, and he's being mean to her. So it's looking like it's gonna be a bully romance too, which also not what I wanted. I was expecting like friends to lovers, but like explicit. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have thought that at all going into it, but that's what the back sounded like, I guess. But at the front does say we were perfect together until we met, so we will see how this goes. It seems like it's going to be him lying about who he is, and then that's going to be what blows up at the end when she figures out that it's actually Misha. I don't know how far I'll make it though, because I'm really not liking it, and it took me all day to even want to pick it up, because I did read like 20 pages yesterday and I've only made it about 40 more pages, so this might be a DNF, but I'm going to try my best to make it to 100 pages, and then we'll decide from there. But I do think I need to end the vlog here, and I will continue with the rest of the Enneagram and how it ends for next week's vlog. But I think this one is already getting pretty long, and I need to edit it and upload it by Wednesday. So I'm gonna end that here, so I guess you'll have to see in the next vlog what I end up doing with Punk 57 and if I end up finishing it. So I will see you in my next video. I hope this vlog went okay. I don't even remember what I've read at this point, but I will see you soon. Bye.